in the class. Okay, welcome to the virtual session for research methodology. The time now is 7 o'clock sharp. I'm Dr. Kui here. As my usual practice, I shall allow the first 5 minutes for students to stream into the class. I could see that there are about 90 odd students now. I believe there are another 50 more students to come because I do have a list of all students that are supposed to attend the class today. In the meantime, for those of you who have just arrived, could you please go to your chat box and type in your name as well as your student ID for the purpose of attendance taking. And in the meantime, also, please arrange for your video to be switched on, as this session is being controlled and monitored centrally from our London head office. There are a group of administrators who will be going through all these sessions. And if they find students whose video camera is not switched on during the session, you will be barred from attending future online sessions. Yeah, so this is not within our control in KL. This is entirely under the control of LSC, i.e. our head office in London. So I shall see everyone in about 4 minutes time. So hopefully by then the rest of others would, as this is being monitored by our head office in London, to ensure that all students' video cameras are switched on. Yeah, they could take the action to bar students from attending future sessions if they find that the video camera is not switched on. First of all, let me introduce myself as to who I am, and then we move on to introduce the subject matter and to look at what we are going to be doing for this weekend. As you can see from your screen right now, that's my name, my full name, Dr. Kui Juan Kiang. In short, people know me as Dr. Kui. I've been with the LSC group for 12 years now. Well, in fact, more than 12 years, 13 years. I started off in 2008, and I'm the pioneer staff and also the head of the MBA program for Westminster International College since the program started in the year 2010. So we have been conducting this program for the last 11 years, going into our 12th year. The reason that you don't see me often at the preliminary stage, the modular stage, because I handle the program towards the tail end, specifically research methodology, and of course, the final stage of your major project. All of you will be seeing me again besides this weekend. During the next stage, I will be your principal supervisor for all your project during the next stage. I also teach in other overseas campuses, like you have met many of my colleagues, right, the fly-in faculties, all right, who have done the other modules with you. In fact, I've just came back in inverted comma, right, virtually, right, from Malta the last 2 weeks. And I also teach in Colombo. And those days when we had our overseas campus in Armenia, that's the most interesting place that I've ever been. All right, okay. It's a very interesting country, but we are no more doing the program there. So right now we are basically focusing on Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Malta. All right, these are the 3 major overseas campuses that we have. Of course, besides, in addition to our various campuses in the UK. Prior to me joining the LSC group, I came from the corporate sector. I retired back in the year probably in the early 2000s, right? And I started my own consulting firm. But prior to that, I've got about 20 years experience managing a MNC in Malaysia. And like I said, I retired early 2000, and then I had my own consulting practice. And until I've joined on a full-time basis with the LSC group since 2010. I was on a part-time basis with the LSE Group in 2008. But then after that, I've joined them on a full-time basis in 2010 when the MBA program started. But that's briefly my background. I used to tell my students that I'm not your typical academician because I come from the industry. But of course, we need to transfer the practical knowledge to whatever theoretical, conceptual stuff that you learn in the MBA. Now, with that, let me now introduce you the subject matter research methodology. Unfortunately, we could not meet physically, which I would prefer, all right, because that's where we can have much more interactions. During physical class, I would basically go through, the class as to, what sort of background do you come from, what sort of industries do you come from, show of hands, and so on and so forth. It's a bit tedious to do that, in an online class. Nevertheless, right, okay, life goes on, and I think we have been doing this online classes ever since the pandemic started, and it has gone on very, very smoothly and very, very efficiently. But let's now focus on the subject matter research methodology. But before I go into the subject matter, let me first now share with you the schedule for the weekend, so that is, at least people know what the agenda is like. So today, the class will be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will have a short comfort break on top of the hour. And during this evening's class, I would promise you that nothing heavy will come your way. There's pretty light stuff. I would normally, refer these to as the appetizer. All right. Okay. Yeah. It's as if that you are going to, going for a 3-meal course. Right. So this is the first dish. Right. Okay. Where you're going to look at the appetizer. Tomorrow and Sunday, that's where the heavy stuff will come in. So 2 main courses will be served to you. Main course 1 and main course 2. And then you must be wondering, what's the third course? The third course, of course, will be dessert. Now, what the dessert is all about, you need to stay with me until the very end of the session on Sunday. And the dessert will come in the form of me giving you a preview of what you could expect in your major project. That is the final stage of your MBA, because I'll be managing, I'll be supervising you at the very final stage. I'm sure everybody will be very interested to know. So I'll give you like a trailer to a movie, yeah? The next change. So the next big change within your MBA program will be, of course, your final year project. So that's what we're going to be doing this evening. We're going to be going through introductory aspects of research methodology. And the subtopics are what you could see from the list here, all right? What research is all about, the research process. And interestingly, this module is where you will determine your topic of your assignment. It's unlike all the rest of other modules where either the questions are given to you or the case studies are given to you, all right? Okay, and you're going to work on based on what is given to you. But for research methodology, as well as your final year project later, you will have to determine yourself the topic. And from the topic that you determine, you will then formulate a title. So you will have to have a title to your assignment. And the onus is on you to create the title, to formulate the title. Of course, there will be guidelines. So I will be guiding you as to how you go about formulating your title based on the topic that you have selected. And thereafter, how you then phrase or state your purpose and how to phrase your problem statement. So these are the introductory aspects of research methodology that we're going to go through this evening in this first 2 hours of our weekend session. And then tomorrow, like I said, The class will start at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 sharp in the morning for the first 2 hours of Saturday. All right, we'll be going through the terms of reference, a little bit more details. Like I said, this will be the beginning of main course 1. These are all the heavy stuff. So you need to ensure that you come to the class fresh. And then we have a break in between, a lunch break, where after which you will come back at 2 o'clock for another 2 hours of what I consider as the heaviest session of the weekend and the most important. Because when we work on a research project and you work on your final year project, your final project, literature review is one of the 2 major components. Likewise, your assignments come in 2 major components. Of course, when you write your final paper, these 2 major components will be combined. So the first major component will be covered tomorrow on Saturday, starting with terms of reference, followed by literature evidence review. And you and I know, I believe many of you have done quite a number of modules already, that the university has set Harvard referencing as the protocol to be used, right, for your citation and referencing. And for tomorrow's afternoon session, I will be conducting a hands-on workshop. Not so much on you, hands-on, I'll be hands-on, right? To demonstrate to you how to use the Word, the Microsoft Word, to do Harvard referencing, where you could do the referencing semi-automatically. And it will be very efficient. And last but not least, for tomorrow, we'll be touching on journal referencing. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have actually referred to journal articles in all your past assignments. But please be very mindful that, especially when you come on to the final stage of the final project, your work will be scrutinized by the chief examiner of UWTSD and also by an external examiner of the university. In many of the exam board findings and feedback that I've gotten, and in my discussion with these faculties, the lead person from UWTSD, I've met them here in Malaysia as well as in London to discuss about students' work, particularly what are the areas to be improved. And one of the key areas that the university has identified is that the lack of journal referencing in students' work. So I need to ensure that you do make some journal referencing. Of course, not all references will be in journals, but you will learn what are the important sources and what are the least important sources. But all this will be covered towards the end of tomorrow. And on Sunday, the entire day will be dedicated to research design proposal. That is the second major component of a research paper. And incidentally, that will also be the second component of your assignment, the research design proposal. How do you go about designing a piece of research? How do you go about designing a primary research? That's essentially what we will be looking at whole of Sunday. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, what you are in for. So with this schedule in mind, let's start now with what we are going to cover for this evening. But before I proceed, I've, earlier today, I noticed that some students have already accessed it. Some students have not accessed it. Don't access it now if you're not accessed it. So for those of you who have not accessed it, please do it after the class today, because there are a couple of, quite a number of documents that I've uploaded, and including these lecture notes that you are looking at right now. So these are some of the things that I've uploaded, but there are more to it, right? So please go to your portal and download those notes for your reference as we go through the lecture for the weekend. So let's now come to the introductory aspect as to what research methodology is. By the way, if you've got any question or any doubts you need to clarify, please unmute yourself, and ask me the questions, okay? All right, so let's just look at what this research methodology is all about. Now, invariably, in all the centers that I go to, in all the campuses that I lecture, research methodology, I will say this. This module would be a critical module. It's an important module. It will also be a critical module. It's not that I'm saying that the rest of the modules are not important. No, the rest of modules are equally important. But this is a bit more critical. Why? Because this module prepares you for your final project. Like in all postgraduate degrees, whether it's master's or doctorate degree, right? Research methodology would be a subject that prepares students to conduct more extensive research for the purpose of completing either a final project or a dissertation or a thesis. Yeah, there are some differences, which I'll come to that towards the end of this weekend when I talk to you about the final project. So be mindful that this module prepares you for your final project, your major project. Whatever that you learn from this module will be what you are going to go through in conducting a research as well as writing your research report during the next stage. And part of that writing process, writing of the research report process will be incorporated within your assignment. So I'd like you to focus on what that I'll be covering for this entire weekend. And you will appreciate that these things that you learn in research methodology will make life easier, will facilitate you to work on your final project more effectively and more efficiently. Let's begin by looking at the definition of research. What is research? Now, I'm a firm believer of understanding something at the very basic level first, before we move on to understand the complexities of a subject. Let's just look at the word research. Right? I'm going to ask you what they call a question, but I don't need you to answer me. All right? Okay, just to trigger. What is the root word of the word research? If you were to look at the word research carefully, there's a root word in it. Absolutely. Search. Yeah, he said it's search. Absolutely. When you look up for the synonyms of search in any dictionary, whether it's Oxford Dictionary, Webster Dictionary, whatever dictionary, it means search means look for something, find something, discover something. So what is the thing that you want to discover? Now, yes, explore something. Now, what you are going to search for depends on what is the context of your search. So today we are talking about research methodology for business and management. We are not talking about search for in the context of medical science, not in the context of engineering, not in the context of anthropological and sociological studies, not in the context of pharmaceutical studies. because those are other fields. So the field, the specific field that we are looking at as far as search is concerned here is business and management. Why? Because you are doing a postgraduate degree called Master of Business Administration. So what do we search for in business management? We search for information. If there is a word that I would like you to write down now, is this. The most important word that you must be very mindful of from now onwards is the word information. What then is information? Information refers to practical facts and figures related to a business topic that you have selected, that you have chosen. You will learn how to choose your topic afterwards. But at this definition stage, please understand that when we search the subjects, the elements that we search for in our report, in your assignment, in your final project will be information. But why then do we call it research? So if you have the word re affixed to a word search, what does it mean? It means do it again. Right? Okay, yeah. Like redo, do it again. Receipt, of course, you don't like receipt, right? Okay, nobody likes receipt, all right? Okay, I'm not expecting anybody to receipt. So research here means you search it again. It means that the information that you gather, that you collect, would have been already collected in some form by someone else. Of course, you will conduct or design new research to collect fresh data, but prior to that, you will be collecting a lot of information that has already been gathered and collected by someone else in some other periods, in some other time period. So that's why it's called research. So let's now get into a more specific context of the word research for the purpose of our MBA. Research is collection of information. If you like, add in the word business information, not any information, business information. For what purpose? For analysis and decision making, for business analysis and decision making. Full stop. I repeat, research can be defined very simply in the simplest manner as the collection of information for business analysis and decision making. The definition is very important. You may be wondering why I'm stressing and emphasizing the definition, because that is the basic requirements of your RM assignment and your final project, where you need to collect information. So when you choose your topic later on, the first criterion would be that you need to check yourself whether you can find information or not. If you cannot find information, please don't choose that topic. What then is information, you may ask? Information here refers to practical facts and figures. Practical facts and figures. From where? From credible and reliable sources of information. Not from any sources. From reliable and credible sources of information, which you will learn tomorrow during the teacher review, and as well as during Harvard referencing, what are considered as credible and reliable sources of information. At this stage, I can give you a simple illustration, a practical example of what I meant by practical facts and figures. Say, for instance, you have chosen a case study, all right, of a company. And let's say the company is a public company. If it's a public listed company, you can get a hold of its annual report. They even produce or yield their quarterly reports on a quarterly basis. So when you look at the annual report, what do you see in the annual report? Information, practical facts and figures. Of course, in essence, the important information in any annual report would go for the financial information. But of course, there will be also non-financial information within the annual report. So you don't only have figures, you have facts as well. So you already learned the first thing this evening, is that when you choose your topic later, you must ensure that you can have information access, information availability. If you cannot have information access or don't have information available, please don't choose the topic, because you will end up writing an assignment as well as a final project without any information. And the chief examiner of UWTST will say the student has not met even the most basic requirement of the assignment or the project, i.e. collection of information. But then what is the word methodology doing here? What's the word methodology doing here? So now you understood the word research, yeah? But why is the word methodology there? So let's just go to the word methodology now. What is the root word? I think by now you know my stuff, yeah? What is the root word of the word methodology? Method. Method. What do you understand by the word method? All right? A way. I put it very simple. A way. A procedure. Right? All of you are working adults. When you go back to work, whether virtually or physically on Monday, your work is subject to some standard operating procedures. You can't do things the way you like. So methods here refers to procedures. If I put in this even simpler way, is a way. But is it any way? It's called methodology. So what does methodology mean? Write this down if you need to. Methodology here means a systematic, scientific, and structured way. I repeat, systematic, scientific, and structured way. 3S. So if we were to put these two words together, research methodology, what then does it mean? It means a systematic, scientific, and structured way of collecting business information for business analysis and decision making. So that's what research methodology is all about. So you're going to collect information, and what you're going to do to the information? You're going to analyze information. For what purpose? To make certain decisions. And you're going to collect this information in a scientific, systematic, and structured way. That is why we need this module, research methodology. Because when you come on to your final project, we want to ensure that you meet all these requirements. Let's come to the second bullet point now. Quantitative and qualitative. In a way, I have already alluded to what quantitative and qualitative aspects of research are in the definition of research just now. If you could recall, I mentioned practical facts and figures. Practical facts and figures. So information comes in two forms. One, quantitative, and the other, qualitative. What do you mean by quantitative information? Quantitative information will be information that come in the numerical form. In the academic world, it is also known as the empirical information, numerical information. If you are put in layman terms, numbers. I've given you an example. The numbers that you see in the annual report, the very important sets of numbers that you see in the annual report, we of course are financial numbers. They come in the financial statements in your income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statements. These are three very important financial statements. But does information come in financial form alone? No. It can also be non-financial information. If you are talking about a company's sales revenue, a company's sales turnover, it can be expressed financially in terms of ringgit and cent or dollar and cents. But it could also be expressed in terms of the volume of sales, in terms of number of pieces, number of, the ton, how many tons has been sold, and so on and so forth, number of employees of organization, number of branches, production capacity, labor or employee or what we call workforce size, right? Number of agents, These are all the non-financial numbers. So essentially, quantitative information would be numerical information, empirical information. They come in the form of numbers. So you need to ensure that you can get access to some relevant numbers to the topic that you would choose. On the other hand, we have qualitative information. So qualitative information here refers to descriptive information, information that come in narrative forms, in explanations, in the form of evaluation, assessment. Whose evaluation, whose assessment, whose opinions, whose judgment. If you read the annual report, you will surely find the chairman's message, you will surely find the COO message, and then there will be a section in the annual report that talks about management review and discussion of their performances. The press releases, the press conferences that the management of the company gives from time to time, where they will update the public about what they are doing. What are these? These are qualitative information. So you now learn two very important things. One, research is essentially about collection of information. Secondly, information comes in two forms, quantitative and qualitative information. So what then is the implication? The implication is that you need to ensure that not only you have access, but you will be able to collect these quantitative and qualitative information to do your write-up. What write-up is this? Your review, your business review, which in academic terms we call it literature review, which you will learn how to do it tomorrow. But first and foremost, you must ensure that you can get access to the facts and the figures. So the facts here refers to qualitative information. Figures here refers to quantitative information. So that's a layman's term, practical facts and figures. Next bullet point here, I'm going to come on to something a bit abstract. All right, a bit, even the terminology is a bit bombastic. Yeah, deductive and inductive. What does this deductive and inductive means? This refers to the research approach. How do you approach your research? What approach would you be adopting? In fact, this I will be elaborating more on Sunday. But this would also be very important for me to share with you at the introductory stage so that you are clear in your mind. I want you to go away with great clarity as to what sort of research approach you will adopt for not only your RM assignment, but also for your final year project, your final phase project. What are these deductive and inductive approaches about? Let's now go to the next slide. Okay. So this next slide here shows you the differences between an inductive approach or inductive reasoning and deductive approach or deductive reasoning. So let me explain these approaches before recommending to you the research approach that you are going to adopt for your MBA program. Let's start with the inductive reasoning, inductive approach. You see, all research, right, starts with an issue or a problem or an opportunity. And this came about through our observation. We observe lots of things every day. Let's say we observe a business phenomenon. We observe that during the COVID-19 pandemic, business has suffered. But we also have observed that in certain businesses, despite the pandemic, the business prosper. So what are we talking about? We are observing business performance due to the impact of COVID-19. Then we go on to understand the pattern. What has transpired? What has contributed? What are the causal factors? Not casual, okay? Causal, C-A-U-S-A-L, not C-A-S-U-A-L. Nothing casual about research. This is a serious business. So what are the causal factors? From our research, we will need to establish these patterns and form tentative hypothesis. Now, this is a big word. This word hypothesis is it's very much used in the academic world. It's a bombastic word, all right? But let me break it down. If I put in layman terms, right, just to facilitate your understanding, what is hypothesis? It simply means, in layman terms, an educated guess. G-U-E-S-S, not G-U-S-T, yeah? An educated guess. You are guessing. But your guess is an informed guess based on the information you collected. You base on the information, you try to guess as to what would be the causes to a problem. That's why I say causal factors. So you will formulate tentative hypothesis. Why is it tentative? Because you have not subjected to further research. So in inductive approach, whatever secondary information you have collected, you formulate your hypothesis, i.e. you try to state what are all the possible causal factors that cause the business performance in certain sectors doing well, certain sectors not doing well, but you have not subjected to further research. That's why it's tentative. Tentative means what? Temporary. But you need to confirm this hypothesis at the end of your extensive research. Primary research, particularly. Primary research. Yeah, you do secondary research first, then you follow by primary research. And during the formulation of these hypotheses, you will be looking at various theories, various concepts, various models, and you're going to do a academic critique of all the current theories, how well or how not well they explain the current situation. Can the existing theories, models explain the current situation? And after you conducted your further research, you will then confirm the hypothesis. Certain hypotheses you will accept, certain hypotheses you will reject. And based on the confirmation of the hypothesis, now take note there, the final outcome, the end result of an inductive approach is formulation of new or modified theory. I repeat, the final outcome of an inductive approach would be the formulation of a new or modified theory to the existing set of theories that one has before your research. So what do I mean? Means inductive research is an academic research. It's a pure research, academic research that leads to the formulation of new theory or modified theory. Let me ask you this question. Would you be doing this for your RM assignment? Would you be doing this for your final year project? The answer is no. Why not? Because the time doesn't permit you to do a good inductive research. Because you need to conduct very extensive primary research, and you need to do a lot of theoretical critique. You need to do a lot of conceptual critique. And you're doing an MBA, which is a blended course. You know why it's a blended course? A blend between your modular subjects as well as a project. It is not a research degree. Some of your friends could have signed up for a Master of Philosophy, Master of Science in Business, where they don't attend classes like you, where the moment that they sign up for the master's degree, they will need to present their research proposal. A supervisor will be assigned, and the student will spend the next 2 to 3 years doing research to come up with a academic research paper. And those research will have to be inductive approach. But for you see, when you come to the final stage, you are given only 12 weeks. 12 weeks is a long time, longer than your assignment duration, right? To come up with a research paper, a research project. And 12 weeks is too short a time for you to work on a new theory. It is almost unbelievable, yeah? It's not plausible, right? Okay, that one could work on an inductive research formulating a new theory or a modified theory in just 12 weeks. Yeah, 2 years for a master's, yes. So you are now left with deductive research. So take it from me now that the research approach that you're going to adopt for your RM assignment as well as for your final project will be the deductive approach. What then is deductive approach? See, it starts with theory. Inductive approach ends with theory. But deductive approach starts with theory. And you started your MBA program by doing those various subjects. In MM, you learn about theoretical frameworks in MM. You learn about conceptual frameworks in MM. What did you learn in MM? STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. What are various variables for STPs? And then one very important framework you learn is the marketing mix. They consider product, price, place, and promotion. What are these? These are analysis frameworks that you have learned theoretically, but you need to know how to apply them. I mentioned about finance just now. Let's say, for example, you have gathered information from an annual report. Yeah, you have these financial information. What are you going to do with this financial information? You're going to analyze them. How are you going to analyze them? Are you going to just say, oh, the revenue increased from this to this year, from this year to that year, reduce? That is too simplistic an analysis. You don't need an MBA to do such an analysis. So what do you learn in FAM? You learn ratio analysis. So you're going to apply ratio analysis. So those are the theoretical frameworks, the conceptual frameworks. Some of you probably have done strategic management, hands-off metrics, BCG metrics. All right, okay. These are all the theoretical aspects that we have learned. You start with theories. Yeah, you start with theories. So based on your chosen topic, based on a selected topic, you're going to use these theories to review, these theoretical frameworks to review the information that you have collected, to confirm your observation. To come up with a hypothesis, you still need to come up with a hypothesis, but I would not encourage you to use the word hypothesis anywhere in your assignment, please. Because hypothesis is very, very related to inductive theoretical research. But your research will be applied research, which I'm going to come to it afterwards. Yes, you're going to come up with an hypothesis. You're going to have a terms of reference, all right, okay, as to what those causal factors are. And in new business, because the topic can be an existing business topic, a new business topic will be feasibility factors. All this you will learn tomorrow. And based on those review, you will confirm. You collect as much information as possible to confirm what are the important or critical causal factors. Leading to what? Listen up to me very carefully. The final outcome of deductive research would be plan of actions and solutions. Plan of action and solutions to either business problem or business opportunity. Can you now see the difference between these two approaches? Inductive approach leads you to theoretical formulation, theories formulation. While deductive approach is an applied research, yes, you still need to use theories. You need to use theoretical frameworks, conceptual frameworks, tools and models to explain, to analyze, to review, but leading to not new theories, not modified theory, but to plan of actions and solutions. So if I were to put it in a simple manner, research process is where first you identify what is the issue, find out what are the causal or the feasibility factors. Okay, you have problem, causes, and it ends up with what? Solutions. Problem, causes, and solutions. For RM assignment, you will need to learn how to search for problem to research. Tomorrow, you will learn how to select causes, causal factors, or feasibility factors, depending on the nature of your topic. Of course, you won't learn the solutions part yet. When you come to the final project, I will guide you at that time how you will then formulate a business plan. Another way of looking at it is looking at the past, present, and future. We collect information, existing information, to understand the present and also to look at what has happened in the past that has led us to the present situation. So if we have past, present, you need to have future. And future here refers to moving forward, going forward. And that is precisely what deductive research is all about. So, please everyone, this is the third thing that you learn. Let me just go back to, these are all the takeaway points for this evening, okay? Is that the research approach that all of you will be adopting for your assignment as well as for your final project will be the deductive approach, not the inductive approach. That brings us to the fourth bullet point now. There are two broad categories, two broad types of research. On one hand, in RM terminology, we call it basic research. It means academic research. And on the other hand, the second broad category or the second broad type will be applied research, or aka also known as practical research. Without me telling you, you would know by now which one would you be choosing, right? Because I've already said that you'll be using the deductive approach. Deductive approach will be leading to some practical solutions, action plans. So what then, when you come to research types, will be your research? Applied research, practical research. You're not going to conduct a basic or academic research where you're going to look at formulation of new theories. Some students at this stage, not only in Malaysia, but in some other campuses also ask me this question. But what if I'm interested in doing a basic research, an academic research? Yes, you will have an opportunity. After your MBA, go and sign up for a PhD. Go and sign up for a doctorate. Because all doctorate degrees, minimum period will be 3 years. Right? Okay, yeah. And unless if you're a full-time PhD student, you could complete within 3 years. But if you're doing it part-time, it could probably take 4 to 5 years. Or 3.5 to 4 years. I did mine in about 4 years. Because I did mine many years ago on a part-time basis. And there I need to ensure that I have the academic, the basic type elements in it. The theoretical type, I need to do theoretical critique as well as practical critique. And the final outcome of my thesis would be a modified, adapted theory, right, in the context of my research. So you will have an opportunity. But coming back to your MBA, as far as this 4th bullet point is concerned, please take note, you can write it down, that you will be adopting applied research type. So 4 things you learned already so far. Research, collection of information, quantitative, qualitative, numerical and narrative information. Approach, deductive approach. Research type, you will be adopting the applied research type. And next, we come to this part here, the last bullet point you see on the screen right now. This is the research approach, the detailed research approach. You can be an exploratory research or a conclusive research. I will not go into the details of what exploratory research is. I will not go into details of what conclusive research is, simply because I will be spending the entire Sunday talking about this type of research, all the details. Because Sunday is going to be a very technical day. Because that's where all the technical aspects of the conduct of research will be touched on. But at this introductory stage, I need you to understand that there are 2 broad types of research approach. On one hand, we have exploratory. Write this down, Unit 2, yeah? Exploratory research is a research that ventures to collect qualitative information. I repeat, exploratory research is a research that ventures to collect qualitative information. And logically, conclusive research would then be a research that collects or gathers what? Quantitative information. So on Sunday, you will learn how to design an exploratory research to collect qualitative information. So Sunday, you're going to design a primary research, not from secondary source. You're going to create your own research. So how are you going to create a research that collects qualitative information? And that's the exploratory research. And you will also learn how to conduct a quantitative research, how to design a quantitative research, which is called the conclusive research. And under conclusive, you have descriptive and causal or explanatory. Why? Because why do we collect numbers for? Why do we need numbers for? We need numbers to describe certain things, certain situation. We also need numbers at times to explain certain phenomena. Let me give an example. Yeah, let me give an example. All right, okay, yeah. Something very personal. Yeah. What's the number that's very personal to all of us here? That described our maturity, so to speak. Yeah. age. Yeah? Age is a descriptive number. Right? They describe the stage of life we are at the moment. Okay, but along with it, it could come with many other descriptive numbers as well. So numbers are used to describe the stage of life where we at now. All right, okay. It could be a number, age. So how many children you have, or how many grandchildren you have. Right, okay, yeah. So those are descriptive numbers. All right, okay, yeah. To describe a current situation. Certain people may be in the same age group, but they may be at different situation. Like for instance, right, I passed my retirement age long time. My kids are all in their 30s, and I'm also a grandfather. All right, okay. So the number of children that I have, the number of grandchildren that I have, the age that I have now, what are these? It's the numbers. The numbers that describe me. But I also could have causal numbers. What are causal numbers? I'm due to go for my annual medical checkup. I'm sure everybody goes to annual medical checkup, right? So what are the one thing that they do? Blood test, right? Oh. So let's say you're not feeling good, you're not feeling well, you've got medical reason, medical condition, right? They'll do a blood test, and the blood test results will show. The blood test results come in what forms? In numbers form. To help the medical professionals to conclude. That's why it's called conclusive. To conclude whether you are in good health, not so good health, or as your health improved over time, whether your blood sugar has improved, your cholesterol level, But all this, these are numbers that either explain the causes or they explain the consequences, the effects, cause and effects. I'm using this as an example, but of course you're not going to collect these information for your for your assignment, right? Okay, yeah, because you're not doing a master of medical science, okay? Or master of sociology, okay? You're doing master of business administration. So you're going to collect business-related numbers to describe a current certain business situation and also to explain, all right? Okay, the situation, what has caused the problem, the issue. So that's all you need to know as far as what exploratory and conclusive research are at this stage. On Sunday, we will go into very, very elaborate details. The time now is, we are at the top of the hour now. Time now is 8 o'clock. Like I said earlier on, we will go for a very short comfort break. No long break, okay? A very short comfort break. And then you come back. I normally give a very short 5 minutes comfort break. I go take a sip of water. You need to go to the washroom, or, wash your face, whatever. Okay, yeah. For 5 minutes. It is now 2 minutes past 8. Come back here at 7 minutes past 8, and we shall continue from then onwards to 9 o'clock. And the second half of today would be the most important takeaway for our evening class today, right? Okay, so I will see everyone in 5 minutes time, right? Come back here sharp at 7 minutes past 8, and we shall continue from there. From now till 9 o'clock this evening, right? Just before I continue, just let me recap very quickly in a couple of minutes what we have covered for the first half of today. So like I said, for this evening, it's not going to be a very heavy evening. It's going to be like an appetizer to two main courses on Saturday and Sunday, where I've started off by talking about what research is all about, and I've defined what research is, and you need to internalize what this research is. Research is about collection of information. What information? Quantitative and qualitative information. What are quantitative and qualitative information? Practical facts and figures. Why do we need these practical facts and figures for in business management. We need this information to do our analysis and most importantly to reach to the decisions, to reach to the level that we make decisions, right? Life is about making a lot of decisions, and we need to make sure we make informed decision, not any wanton decision, but it has to be informed decision. And this subject matter, this module, is about research methodology. Methodology here refers to a systematic, scientific, and structured way of collecting information, which will be what you will be learning throughout this course this weekend. And then, what would be the research approach that you'll be adopting? You'll be adopting the deductive approach instead of an inductive approach. Why? Because for the given time frame, as well as the nature of our course, which is an MBA, you are going to adopt an applied research, a practical research. That is why you're going to first adopt the deductive approach, while inductive approach will lead to an academic research, leading to the final outcomes of theories. You're not going to form new theories or modified theories at the end of your RM assignment or at the end of your final project. You're going to use a deductive approach, where deductive approach will lead to the final outcomes of plan of actions and solutions. That is precisely what you will be doing in the final year project. And just before the conference break, I've alluded to you the two broad categories of research, exploratory and conclusive. It has something to do with quantitative and qualitative information. Exploratory research will be a research that is designed to collect qualitative information, while conclusive research will be a research that is designed to collect quantitative information. And we use this quantitative information for descriptive purpose, to describe a certain situation, as well as to explain, to establish what the causes to a problem before we work on the solutions to the problems. So I've also alluded to the process of research by looking at the timeline of the past, present, and future. So you need to do a lot of review of the past and the present. That's what your business review and literature review will be all about. The future will be talking about the future business plan. That's why it's deductive in nature. Another way of looking at it will be establish what problem you want to research, do a causal, identify and do a review of the causal factors before you move on to come up with a future plan to resolve this problem by looking at the causes to the problem. Okay, Daniel asked this question. We use both in our RM and project paper. Yes, the approach you use, this is the approach that we use for RM. That's why I mentioned from the very beginning. Research methodology prepares you for the final project. Whatever you learn here will be adopted in the final year project. Your assignment is just a mini version of your final year project. So it has a, if I were to put in technical terms now, a correlation, a very high correlation between research methodology and your final year project. So that's why I have said you need to focus on what I will be teaching you. That's why I'm only teaching research methodology. I don't teach other modules. Back in 2010 and 11, because at the time we haven't got students could reach a final level. Yes, I was teaching my other two favorite subjects, which is MM and SM. But now I have just no time to teach. Because I'm teaching overseas for RM as well as the final phase for Malaysia to supervise students at the final phase. Next, we'll be looking at the research process. So this is what we're going to look at. Yeah. So this Friday, we can look at the purpose, the research process. We have done the introductory aspects of research methodology. So now we will look at the research process. Another way to look at research process is this, that you see on your screen right now. 3-stage process. Planning, research design, planning, execution, and conclusions and recommendations. What do you do under planning? You need to identify what business issue that you want to look into, or is there a new business opportunity that you want to pursue? Which one would you like to choose? Once you have chosen that, you have to establish the context of your research. From there, you're going to plan your terms of reference. You need to identify what are the factors for review. And based on the factors that you have planned, you will then go into the review, the literature review. Review based on what? Review based on secondary information that you have collected. And from there, you're going to design. There will surely be some information gaps. From those information gaps, you will then design your own research, i.e. the primary research. And that's what your RM assignment is all about. Please write this down, everyone, yeah? Your RM assignment comes in the form of a research proposal, a research plan. Means you are going to do the first part of the research process in your RM assignment. Means you're going to come up with your topic in terms of what the issue is, opportunity is, and the context you learn afterwards. Terms of reference, you will learn tomorrow morning. Literature review, you will learn tomorrow afternoon. Research design, you will learn the whole of Sunday. And like I said, the two major components of the assignment will be literature review and research design. So I hope everybody is clear about that. Yeah? You need to be very clear. You are not going to execute further research. You're not going to collect primary data. You're not going to analyze primary data, but you are going to design. You're going to design a primary research, but you're not going to execute that primary research. In your final project, if you wish so, you could execute that primary research. That's an option. There is an option at the final stage. Whether you want to execute a primary research or you don't want to execute a primary research. You wait until end of Sunday, I'll let you know. I'll give you a preview of that. But last but not least, the final stage must be that. For your final project, where you need to come up with a business plan. I.e. your conclusion and recommendations will come in the form of a business plan, i.e. a plan of actions and solutions in response to the causes, to the problems that you have identified. Are you going to do this for your RM assignment? The answer is no, because you are not going to execute further research and you're not going to come up with a business plan to resolve an issue that you have identified for research. Because the research proposal will only consist of the review of the issue and also designing a further research for the issue. Full stop. Because it comes in the form of a research proposal. Please take specific note of this. Because in the past, there were students who actually, come up with a research paper, a full research paper with conclusions, with recommendations of actions, it's impossible. You can't do that in such a short period of time. So in essence, your RM assignment comes in the form of a research plan, a research proposal that consists of all these areas that I have just stated. And that will be the basis of our lecture, our class, right? Okay, for this entire weekend. So what is the first thing that you need to identify? Issue or opportunity. This is where it becomes very important now. What did I say at the very beginning of the class today? I said that for this module, the uniqueness of this module is that you determine your topic. All right, okay, yeah. The topic is not given to you. You determine the topic. So now let's look at your screen right now. The topics that you could choose to be from two major perspectives. Either a managerial topic or an entrepreneurial topic. You either approach your research from the managerial perspective or you approach your topic from the entrepreneurial perspective. If you choose the managerial perspective, means you're going to conduct a research as a manager of a business. So a managerial topic will begin with a business issue. And the business issue that I would suggest that all of you look at will be business performance. Because that's essentially what business research is all about. You're all working adults. You work in an organization. Or you could be an entrepreneur running your own business. But regardless whether it's managerial or entrepreneurial, whether it's your own business or you're working for others, what is important? The performance of the business. If the business doesn't perform well, it's time to close down the shop. To close the business. So the most pertinent issue in business, from a managerial perspective, managing a business is business performance. But to give a specific context to your topic, you need to select a case study. So a managerial topic is about you choosing to look at reviewing, the main theme of your topic will be business performance of an existing business that comes in the form of a specific case study, a specific business entity, a specific company. A case study of Digi Telecommunication in Malaysia, a case study of Top Glove, in Malaysia, right? Okay, a case study of whatever, right? Okay, yeah, Nestle, Malaysia, right? So choose. So if you were to choose a managerial topic, first choose a case study. And what aspect of the case study you're looking at? The business performance of that case study. Next would be the entrepreneurial topic. Some of you, I don't think many, because in all those classes that I've conducted in the past, I noticed that there are more employed students rather than self-employed students. Probably that's the reason why self-employed students don't come and do the MBA. Most employed students come to the MBA because they want to use the MBA to advance in their career. But I do have quite a number of entrepreneurs that have studied with us, not only in Malaysia, in our other campuses as well. But there could also be employed students like you. Some of you may harbor this ambition to start your own business. Right? You may come to the stage where you be telling yourself that instead of working for people all this while, why don't I work for myself? And we in LSC, when I say we means all of us in the in the college at the senior level, do encourage our students to explore entrepreneurial ventures. So you may have an ambition to start a business of your own, but probably never knew how or not very sure how you do it. Why don't use that as your topic? Whether you want to execute it one day or not is another matter, but at least you have a chance to do a research on a certain business opportunity. So entrepreneurial topic will start with a specific business opportunity. And your topic will be a feasibility study. So now you see the difference, yeah? There are two broad categories, yeah? For existing business topic, which is the managerial approach, your topic will be a case study approach, looking at a particular company's business performance, or an entrepreneurial topic where you will choose a specific new business opportunity where you will be conducting a feasibility study. And that's called an entrepreneurial approach to research, business research. So everybody start thinking now. This is one of the major takeaways for this thing, to start thinking now. Do you want to choose a managerial topic or do you want to choose an entrepreneurial topic? After you've chosen the topic, you must also ensure that your topic is within a certain context. You must have a context to it. You cannot choose a topic like a study of determinants of business performance. Or let's say, a study of determinants of business performance as a result of COVID-19 impact. It's a good topic, but the topic is without a context. A specific context. The topic, if a topic without a specific context would be too broad, right? You cannot have too broad a topic. So in order to give some specificity to your topic, you need to have a context. And the context comes in the form of industry as well as companies. So if you were to choose Top Glove as your case study, Top Glove, I think it's classified as a healthcare sector in the stock market. If it is, let's say, Nestle, Nestle is also a listed company in Malaysia. It's a consumer product company, or what we know as a FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods industry. So the company that you choose for your case study would be belonging to a specific industry. Likewise, if you choose a specific new business opportunity, that new business opportunity will surely belong to a specific industry. Say, for instance, I choose this topic, a feasibility study of setting up a new fashion online store, let's say. So the context is what? There are two contexts of this, the broad context is e-commerce. The specific context is fashion, because it's a fashion online store. So there is still a context to it. Oh, okay, good question. What you're going to do in your final project may be different from what you will be doing for your RM. Or it could be the same. It's up to you. It is not a must that, I come with an entrepreneurial topic for my RM, I must do an entrepreneurial topic for my final project. No. There's no such requirement. But of course, if you want to extend the topic to that of your final project, of course you can. You may also do a managerial topic now and do an entrepreneur topic later, or an entrepreneur topic now, an entrepreneur managerial topic later, or do the same topic that you do for your RM as well as the final project. No issues. Okay? So it's mutually exclusive, It's not like, this research proposal must be the basis of your final project, not necessarily. So you can change your mind if you want to. But of course, it can also be, it's really up to you. All right, okay, research methodology and your final project, you decide the area of your research. Next would be, you need to ensure that your topic that you have chosen, later on tomorrow you will learn about the factors you'll be choosing. You must be familiar with all the conceptual frameworks you have learned in the past. Because you need to collect information to fit into all these frameworks for you to do your review. I have alluded to a couple of examples during the first half of today. I alluded to the example of marketing management. STPs, the 4 Ps, or you may want to do the 7 Ps instead of the 4 Ps. Okay, right? It's like product price, place, promotion. You want to improve physical evidence, people and process. You may want to look at the BCG metrics to analyze a current business units in an organization or products, the product portfolio or the business portfolio of an organization or certain competitors in the marketplace. Right? What are question mark? What are star, cash cow, and what are dogs? Or look at the product life cycle. is it a sunset industry, coming to the end of the product life, or is this product at the introductory stage, or is it the growth stage or maturity stage? We want to use ends-of metrics to review strategic growth of an organization or an industry. Whether what are the current strategic initiatives that are being adopted by different players in the industry. Ends-of metrics points towards market penetration, product development, market diversification. And you want to understand the current industry situation, you want to use the Porter's 5-force model. What are the 5 forces in the 5-force model? The intensity of rivalry, the bargaining power of supplier, the bargaining power of consumer, the threat of substitute, the threat of new entrants. Or you may want to study the human capital aspects as a causal factor of business performance. What do you study in MHCE? In MHC, you study the various components of managing human capital. From recruitment and selection, talent management, training and development, reward and recognition, in some cases called compensation and benefits, performance management, work-life balance. In financial analysis, you learn about those various ratio analysis. For those of you who will be choosing or have done your electives in terms of corporate finance, you are exposed to more advanced tools. What am I alluding to? See, RM and your final project is not about RM alone. It's not about research alone. It's about all that you have studied. Now I'm going to share with you now. Because I also moderate some student work, right? Okay, not only for Malaysia, for other campuses as well. What we look for, and also examine, right? Okay, helping the external examiner. To what extent students have learned in all those various modules in the MBA. And most importantly, to what extent students know how to apply what they have learned in those various modules in one integrated work. You know what integrated means? A work that integrates all these various aspects, those various pertinent aspects. Because when you look at the business performance of a company, the causal factor cannot be marketing alone. Marketing cannot be a single department in any organization. You need various other support activities like human capital, you learn in MSc, like financial management, you learn in FAM. And some businesses, not some businesses, most businesses today will need to improve their business performance by venturing beyond the borders of their country. That's where international marketing management comes in. That's where international business comes in. That's why we have the two electives. We surely will choose one out of two or both, IN and IB. Strategic management, looking at the strategic level, not only at the tactical level, at the strategic planning level. You learn in SF. So we'd like to see how you apply all this in your review, which you'll learn tomorrow. So that's what it meant at the bottom of the screen right now, yeah? Analysis, applying conceptual frameworks, theories, and models. So from the topic that you have decided to choose, you will then need to formulate your title. So let's come to the title now. Okay. Which will be your main takeaway for this student. Yeah, some of my students in the past, right? Okay, like recently I had a virtual class with our campus in Malta, LSE Malta. Some students already came up with a title from the from the very first evening, all right? Okay, yeah. Maybe they are already very sure what they want to research on. Yeah, but of course you are given time to think about and work with your tutor. I think the tutor for you will be Dr. Tom. Yeah. I've been working with Dr. Tom for a very long time, right? He has been tutoring on our modules, yeah? And he's very, very familiar with what research methodology entails. But before that, you need to know how to formulate your title. Let's go through it now. A good title, a perfect title, must have 3 elements in it. What are the 3 elements in it? The 3 elements are: the purpose must be evident in the title, followed by the issue and opportunity, issue or opportunity. Why is it issue or? Depending on the nature of the topic. If you have chosen a managerial topic, it will be a business issue, be evident in the title. If you have chosen a new business topic, the specific business opportunity must be stated in the title. And next, like I mentioned earlier, you must have a specific context to it so that it has a specific scope. Otherwise, your topic could be too broad. So how to ensure that the topic is not too broad? You must have a specific context. And this specific context here refers to a specific industry in a specific location. Not only specific industry. Let's say I've chosen a case study. I can choose a company in a certain industry, but I also have to choose a specific location. Especially when the company is let's say, it's a multinational company, right? Which has operations in hundreds of countries. Let's say, for example, somebody chooses this, let's say, Nestle. You and I know Nestle is everywhere in the world. Can a student attempt a topic like a study of determinants of business performance of Nestle? Full stop. Without the location context? Yes, you can choose the title. Nothing can stop you with the title. But is it practical to do such a topic where you need to analyze Nestle's worldwide business performance by looking at their performance in different countries, different regions? You know, there are more than 100 countries. No, it becomes too broad. Okay, next question asked here is Tan Cho, is it? Yeah. In case we want to do a case study, can use any business in any country? Oh yes, of course. Yeah, okay, yeah. I believe Tan Cho is not from Malaysia, yes. Okay, probably there's a reason why you asked that question, because the examples you see on your screen are all Malaysia, because I adapt this to the to Malaysian students, yeah. Because if I were to teach in Sri Lanka, I will use Sri Lanka's examples. I will use the Malta, I'll use Malta as context. But nothing stops you of choosing other than the Malaysian context, because it depends. I've got students who have chosen a topic about the company's branch performance in Vietnam. So the context of the topic is only in Vietnam. I also got students chosen topic of a company that they work in that want to venture into a new market. In other words, kind of a feasibility study, in Thailand. Or somebody want to start a business in Indonesia, because Indonesia is the largest market in Southeast Asia. And by the way, by population size, they are the 4th largest in the world after China, India, and the United States. Yeah, okay. So do not limit yourself to only Malaysia as a country context. Yeah, it could be any country of your interest. But most importantly, all right, okay, you have information access, number 1. Number 2, which is not mentioned in any research literature, any research methodology literature. Take it from me. I will always encourage students to choose a topic that you are passionate about. Passion comes first. Because you don't want to choose a topic just for the sake of doing an assignment. I tell you, it will be very, tedious, because you will treat it as a chore. If you're doing something that you love, that you are very passionate about, you look forward to doing it all the time. Choose a topic that will benefit you in your career advancement one day. Choose a topic that will benefit your business venture one day. That is the passion. But of course, the next thing that you need to establish is, can I find information or not? If I cannot find information related to the area that I like to go into, then don't. There is no point. All right? Passion comes first, then information. Next is familiarity. You must ask this question, how familiar you are with the topic that you have chosen. If you have chosen a topic that you are not familiar, then you will not do a good job out of your assignment. Okay, so those are the things that you consider when you choose your topic. But once you have chosen your topic, then you will then formulate your title. So for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to go through how you choose your topic. How do you formulate your title? Okay, the title will consist of what? Consists of firstly the purpose. Can you see all the words in red? All right, okay. A study, examination, a survey, an investigation, and survey, a feasibility study, a market feasibility study. So these are example of words that you use in your title that are indicative of the purpose. Again, now, before I continue, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 5 examples are examples of existing business topic, managerial topic. The last 2 example number 6 and example number 7 are examples of new business topic. So let me just go through the first 5. This, for those of you who are interested to pick a managerial topic, is how you're going to formulate a title. But not all these titles will be good titles. But let me go one by one, and then to explain to you which one I would suggest that you adopt. Let's look at the first one. A study of factors leading to Nestle's business performance in Malaysia. Or anywhere. But there must be one country location. A study is the purpose. What is the issue is looking at? Business performance. So that's the second component, second element. Whose business performance? Nestle's business performance. Nestle is in what industry context? In the consumer products industry. Where? Location context? Malaysia. So is this a good title? Yes, absolutely. It's a good title. Why? Because it has all the 3 elements in the title clearly stated. So that's one example that you can adopt. You can paraphrase 1 or 2 words from here and there. All right. The second example, an examination of causes of IBM's business performance in Malaysia. Is it a good title? Yes, it's a good title. Why is it a good title? Because the purpose is clear, because it's an examination. Examine what? Examine the causes of what issue or opportunity. In this case, it's an issue. What's the issue that I have suggested to students to choose? Business performance. Whose business performance? IBM business performance. IBM is in what business? In IT business. Where? What is the location context of the topic? In Malaysia. Or it could be in India. Or it could be in Taiwan. Or it could be in Thailand. Anyway. But they ought to be a location context. So that, the first 2 examples are good examples. Now let's come to the third example. Let's go through it first, yeah? A survey of the effect of Nokia's acquisition by Microsoft on Microsoft future business performance. Is it a good title? Yes, it's a good title. But is it a practical title for your MBA assignment? The answer is no. How come? Let me just go through it first. Why is it that I said it's a good title? Because the purpose is clear. It's a survey. The issue is clear. Business performance. The context is also evident. We're looking at Nokia's acquisition by Microsoft. We want to see how this affects Microsoft's future business performance. But yet, I say, don't choose this type of topic. So there's a reason why I present this as an example in my slides. Because many years ago, more than 5 years ago, there were students who actually selected this type of topic and did not do well at all in their assignment. Why is that so? Because this title is an example of a dual case study topic. It's not a single case study topic, a dual case topic. Because here you have Nokia as well as Microsoft. So there are 2 case studies instead of 1. Even though you're looking at Microsoft future business performance, but Nokia is the companies in question. So your word limitations, your word count limitations, will limit the area of analysis. It becomes very diluted and you lose a lot of marks along the way. So do not choose a dual case study topic, choose a single case study topic. So instead of the effect of no cash acquisition, you may want to look at survey of factors influencing Microsoft future business performance, say in Malaysia. Moreover, the topic you see here, there is no specific location context because acquisition of Nokia by Microsoft is on a worldwide basis. So for that reason, bear in mind, do not choose a dual case study title like the third example that you see on the screen. Instead, I have now the fourth example where I've given you sort of a template that you could use to formulate your title. You can plug in whatever industry, whatever company they have chosen. Example, say an investigation of determinants of business performance in the airlines industry, a case of Air Asia in Malaysia. Or you can paraphrase a little bit. A study of factors determining business performance in the fast-moving consumer goods industry, a case of Nestle in Malaysia. Or a survey of causes of business performance in the banking industry, a case study of Maybank in Malaysia. And so on and so forth. So once you have decided on a managerial topic where you have a specific industry you're looking at, a specific company, a specific case, just plug it into the template accordingly. And there you are. You have a perfect title. So make sure the title have all the three components to it. So you can use example number 4. There's no specific example, but it's like a template for you to formulate your managerial title if you choose a managerial topic. Example number 5. An employee satisfaction survey in industry Y, a case of company X. Is it a good title? Yes, it's a good title. Why? Because the purpose is there, the issue is there, the context is there. But would I advise students to choose this topic? No, I would not encourage students to choose this topic. Why? Because the scope is rather limited. Remember what I said earlier? In the exam board, right? In the university exam board, when they scrutinize students' work, they want to gauge to what extent students have learned from all the various functional modules in the MBA, and to what extent students know how to apply all those that they have learned in an integrated manner. Because you're going to be graduating with an MBA, a master. You're going to be a master. You're going to be a guru. You're going to be a sifu. That's what master is, isn't it right? You're not a bachelor. It's not a bachelor program. So how can you be a master when you're only mastering one part of a business in capital? Even though it's a valid title, there's no question about it. But for the purpose of the MBA, for the purpose of the examiner's scrutiny, I would not encourage such a topic. So don't, because the scope is limited to only managing human capital. All right. So that's why from the very beginning I mentioned that for existing business topic, manager topic, choose business performance as a business issue, and not employee satisfaction as the business issue. Of course, in business performance, later on tomorrow, you will learn that you could include the employee satisfaction in it, in the review. So instead of it as the main theme, it could be included as one of the causal factors. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, the first 5 examples of managerial topic. Lastly now, let's come to examples of new business topic. So some of you probably is already thinking that time is up for you to work for somebody else. You want to work for yourself. You want to be a self-employed person after your MBA. Why not? Right? You can do a research. Take opportunity to do the research. This is the ROI of your MBA, return on investment of your MBA. I always advocate to students that don't treat this MBA as a platform to get a paper qualification. The paper qualification is worthless. It's useless if you have not learned well from the MBA. Because in the third world country like Malaysia, I know many students do MBA just for the sake of getting the MBA certificate. But there are students who didn't do well even after the MBA because they just got a certificate. They didn't know how to use what they have learned. They just do it for the sake of doing it to get a paper qualification. So take this opportunity to work on a topic that would benefit yourself. Not only in terms of doing new business, okay? Even for your existing business, your existing career. I've got examples of students. I know there's one student, I can mention many examples, who are now very senior managers in the organization after they have done their MBA, particularly after they have done their project. They presented their project report to their senior management, and they are now part of the senior management today. They have advanced because they have uncovered and discovered new ideas, new ways of doing things, new way of looking at things. And they presented it to their bosses, and they are there. I've got a student who was just a operation executive at the time, not senior operation executive of a hospital. I wouldn't mention any specific hospital. Yeah. All right. Okay. She came and studied with us, and in a final paper, she was looking at the blueprint, right, of the hospital operations, and she asked me, she's a very brilliant student. She's a distinction student. She asked me, "Sir, is this project paper of mine is worth to pursue with my?" So of course, it's an excellent work. It's a brilliant work. All right, okay. And she went on, and now today, I think she graduated about 6-7 years ago, right? Okay. So this is a COO, right, of one of the hospitals in that group of hospitals. And there's another person, a very senior manager, working with the 10 richest men in Malaysia, probably the richest Bumiputra tycoon in Malaysia for many years. And his job was to develop a lot of new businesses. So when he come to read his MBA, he said, "Sir, why don't I develop a business of my own?" And he did that for his major project. And guess what? Today, he's a very successful entrepreneur. Of course, he's not like his ex-boss, but he's a very happy entrepreneur. So your MBA can be a game changer. Either advancing in your career or embarking on venturing into a business that you always wanted to do, but never knew how, you never knew how to start, right? This may be giving you those ideas. And the last two examples are examples of title related to new business topic. A feasibility study of setting up business X in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, or anywhere. It can be in Singapore, in Bangkok, Thailand. It can be in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It could be in London, United Kingdom, or it could be in Hong Kong, or it could be in Beijing, China, or anywhere. Example, a feasibility study of setting up a new fashion online store in Malaysia or in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. That could be one of them. Okay, there are another synonymous word that you can use instead of feasibility. The word is viability. Some of my past students, they use the word viability. A viability study of setting up a fusion restaurant in Malaysia, right? Or in specific location in Malaysia, let's say. In Penang, Malaysia, let's say. So it's pretty straightforward. Use that as a template for you to put in whatever business you're interested in, right? And the rest of others words in the title will be indicative of the rest of other elements. Lastly, let's look at the last example. This last example is pretty unique, okay? There's one type of topic, write this down if you need to, that could be hybrid in nature. What do you understand by the word hybrid? Combination of two different things in one, like two in one, yeah, like two in one. So, what are the two things that we have here? Two options we have here: a new business and existing business. And then you can have a topic that looking at how an existing business moving into a new business or going into a new business area. So that is an example of a hybrid topic. Example of a title, let's look at this. A market feasibility study to facilitate the successful launching of a certain product in Malaysia. And the certain product could be a franchise. Let's say, for example, you found a new franchise somewhere else. Or let's say a fast food franchise that's not in Malaysia yet. You want to bring that franchise into Malaysia. But that franchise is an established business elsewhere. And you want to bring this business into Malaysia. So that becomes a hybrid topic. An existing business that you want to do a feasibility study of launching it or introducing it to Malaysia. And vice versa can also be true. Companies in Malaysia may want to look at probably the company that you are working in right now, maybe wanting to look at expansion of its business outside Malaysia within Southeast Asian region in a particular country. I've got a student a couple of years ago. He's a very senior regional manager of MNC in Malaysia, based in Malaysia. And it's a chemical related company. And so happened at that time when he was doing his MBA, he was already working on a project with the company to expand to Indo-Chinese market. They were more on the traditional Southeast Asian market, like Singapore, Indonesia, and Thailand. All right, okay. So it so happened at that time, incidentally, that they wanted to explore Indo-Chinese market, starting with Vietnam, because Vietnam is the most prosperous country within the Indo-Chinese region. So he took that opportunity to work on as RM topic as well as a final year project topic as a feasibility study to expand the particular company's business to Vietnam. So that is an example of a hybrid topic, a topic about an existing company venturing into a new market or venturing into a new product, or it could be a topic about bringing an established business, an existing business from elsewhere to Malaysia. There's this existing aspects to it, that is the existing business, and there's the newness. The newness could be a new market, a new product. So that is an example of a hybrid topic. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. What you see on your screen right now are the various examples. But please take note, out of these 7 examples, there are 2 examples that I don't encourage or discourage, rather. Yeah, don't choose a dual case study. Don't choose a topic which is looking at one very narrow scope of business, which is employee satisfaction, but choose a business performance as a whole. Of course, you can have all those various functional areas which you will learn tomorrow how to choose, and of course, examples of a new business. So that is the takeaway for this evening. The major takeaway for this evening. So this could also be your bedtime story later. Huh? Some of you probably haven't had dinner yet. I haven't had dinner yet. All right. Okay. Yeah. I only eat 1 meal a day. For information. Yeah. Okay. I'm on intermittent fasting for many years already. Okay. Yeah. Take care of my health. All right. Okay. Yeah. So take this as your bedtime story later on. Think about it. Go through your mind and see, whether what interests you. You do a bit of preliminary research and so on, right? But don't do it too much until you sleep the wee hours in the morning, because you need to wake up early in the morning to attend the class at 9 a.m. sharp. All right. Okay. Yeah. So we've got two choices, right? You choose either one of them. Yes, there will be a book on research methodology at the end of the slides. Okay, you go through. But the reason why I'm not going to go through the books first, because those books are more on the technical aspects. I will introduce you the book. I will explain about the books to you on Sunday. But the book is at the end of the slide. You can just go all the way down. You can see the two books. Yeah, the first book will be the core text. The core text. Yeah. Okay. So I've come to the end of today's session. It's 1 more minute to 9. Okay, I'm very particular about time. Okay, yeah. So we have done. Of course, there are 2 more areas that I have not gone into today. That's deliberate. Yeah, that's deliberate. Which is purpose and problem statement. Okay, so let me just go to the schedule just now. So I've done until the title. That is your major takeaway. The purpose and problem statement will be first thing tomorrow morning, because that will then lead us to the terms of reference. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock sharp right now. I'm open to any questions. Yeah, Q&A. Is there anything that anyone wants to clarify? I'm here for you. If those of you who need to go, you can go, no problem. But make sure you have already typed in your name and your student ID, yeah, for the purpose of attendance taking. If not, we will end the session now, and I shall see all of you again 9 o'clock sharp tomorrow morning for the